Welcome to the Shit Show. It's the first chapter of my brand new book, Woke, the Bible and Science Behind the Law of Attraction. Woke, the Bible and Science Behind the Law of Attraction. Also happens to be the common theme of the video today. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that subscribe button down below. You don't want to miss any of my amazing content or brand new videos coming out. Hit the bell notification button to be notified as soon as I post a new video. And if you hit that little teeny gray arrow down there, that little teeny gray arrow, it drops down the video description box, and there will be a link there to Amazon to buy my brand new book, Woke, available in paperback and Kindle editions, soon to be available on Audible. I'm very excited about that. So, from wherever you are on planet Earth or beyond, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Yellowbird, Uncaged. So, today, why do we sometimes experience what we perceive to be negative or downright awful situations? How does this happen when you're using the law of attraction? You're doing all of the things. You're journaling, you're scripting, you're making vision boards, meditating, visualizing, saying the affirmations. You're staying in the manifesting vibe. Why? How? Help me, Lord. Some nuts are going to chalk it up to, see, I told you that law of attraction stuff was witchcraft. Boring. Wrong. Others will say, told you that stuff didn't work. It's all fairy tale BS. Well, they're about as sharp as an eraser, because they're wrong too. Or maybe you're really hard on yourself and you're doubting, asking where you went wrong. So here's the answer. I have the answer to the shit show, to the storms. Here it is. I have personally received this answer and experienced it to a degree that most people will never comprehend, because I hope they don't have to experience it to that degree. However, you have to trust the plan. You asked for things. You are doing all the things to make ready for the things you asked for to come into your life. But now you have to have the faith and keep your frequency positive even through the storm. There's lessons that all of us have to learn in this lifetime. They're different for everyone. That is the one reason for seemingly the shit show that's happening. If you just open your eyes, though, instead of being the victim, you can claim your power and look for the lesson in the storm. Once you become open to finding and learning the lesson, the storm will quickly end, kind of like that part in Forrest Gump. Remember where they're wading through the rice paddies in Vietnam, they're holding their rifles above their heads, and he's talking about how it was raining and raining and raining, and it rained some more. And he never thought it would stop raining, and it rained in directions he didn't even know was possible. But then one day, the rain stopped. It just stopped. And in that way, that will happen when you stop being the victim and start looking for the lesson in the storm. As soon as you find the lesson, the rain will stop and the sun will come out. Here's the second reason, which is often intertwined with the first. So the second reason is that you are being removed from negativity. The storm is actually just watering the seeds of blessings that you planted. So you asked for these things, but it takes a little time for them to show up in your life. And these seeds are gonna need water. So you can't just plant a seed in the dirt covered up and just expect it to grow. It's gonna need some care and water. So sometimes the storm is there to water the seeds of blessings that are there for you. Once you understand this, the storm won't seem so bad after all. Sometimes what you see as a terrible hurricane is actually just a cleansing of things and situations in your life that you asked for to be changed. And so they are. Also, you can't possibly appreciate good if you don't have anything to contrast it with. So how can you know what the color white looks like? Actually, though, white is not a color, just from an artist's perspective, it's actually the absence of color. Nonetheless, how can you know what white looks like if you've never experienced any other colors or a shade of black? You have to have contrast. It's sort of like the Oriental yin and yang. There's one, and then there's the opposite, the other. You have to have both to appreciate the same thing. So you see, if everything was perfect all the time, would you appreciate what you have and what you receive near as much? Of course you wouldn't. It doesn't mean if you ask for something in your life, bad will happen. It just means that sometimes the storm isn't as dark and scary as you think. So there's these Southerners along the Gulf Coast. They have this thing called hurricane parties. I've never been to one, and I think it actually sounds really fun. I think it might be on my bucket list. So these crazy Southerners, they have these wild parties together during a hurricane. They plan it specifically for the hurricane. That's why it's called a hurricane party. They break out the blender, the Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville, the crock pot with them little teeny weenies in the barbecue sauce with the toothpicks, the cheese dip. They are making all kinds of frozen cocktails and inviting their friends and neighbors over to weather the storm with them during what could be very damaging and destructive. But instead of making something bad, they make this thing that could be dangerous into something really fun and good. Call it a hurricane party. So why can't we be like those crazy Southerners who have those hurricane parties and be thankful for the rain? In Matthew 8:23 through 27, there's a story in the Bible, and it goes like this. Jesus got into the boat and his disciples followed him. Suddenly, a furious storm came up on the lake so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we're going to drown." He replied, "You of little faith, why are you so afraid?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him." When you have faith, which means the storm doesn't faze you, you regain your power. You're no longer the victim, and you suddenly shift the timeline of having to suffer until you realize this and look for the lesson or the blessing within the storm. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. That's all I got for today, folks. Bye.